Hey, what's going on, guys? How you doing, man? Back with another video on tips and tricks on how to select better in any warehouse. So this video right now, just a quick rundown to just see if you guys have any questions. I'll just send this video out and then just put it out to see if you guys have any questions. So in the next video I have up and coming, I'll try to hit those direct questions on the head. This is just a quick video on just basic selecting, easy paced, smooth flow, and high percent. Because we know high percent makes those higher percent brings the money in. Bottom line, as you can see, I have two pallets. I do use a triple jack, but for this specific order, I only had it two pallets. Let me see what I can just. Basically, I'm just really just vibing, man, just flowing. I've been there a good 2.5 years, so I pretty much know a lot of the orders off the top of my head. I know what we're getting, where we're getting it, how much. I wouldn't say how much, but I can kind of guess sometimes how much something would be just based off of certain quantities. I can tell you, oh, I'm getting this amount, so I'm gonna get this amount. I could, that comes further down the road, but for new selectors, you basically just want to get your own pace. Right now, you see, I'm moving. I'm one case, and I'm on to the next. I grab one case, scan it, label, placement. It's simple as that. On to the next, and I repeat that routine with each case. So, scan, placement, label, on to the next. I test those onions because I have OCD. So there was no reason for me to test those onions, but because I want to make everything perfect, I just had to touch them because they were hanging off a little bit. But same thing, scan, label, place. You repeat that motion with everything, and that kind of dictates your time as you once again scan, place. I'm not placing them right here. I'm just labeling them, and then when I place them, or if I'm deciding to place, and I'm on to the next. And that's pretty much really what you do to maintain a smooth pace. Once you have your smooth pace, you just do that. You don't have to run like a marathon. You don't have to grab cases at like 5-6 different cases. Like, you don't have to do stuff like that. When you're trying to go above and beyond this pace right here, believe it or not, and I would prove it. I have done it before. Believe it or not, this pace right here is literally a 140, 135. Like I'm labeling, grabbing cases, placing, and just moving to the next. Like I don't have to run, and you don't have to sit here and be out of breath more than you have to. So you don't have to run. You don't have to like do unnecessary things that you may think that you have to do to make these high numbers. You see how slow I'm turning the corner. You don't have to do a lot of things. This right here is a block of cheese. I scanned it twice because this is a case that asks for catch weight. This literally is about 50 pounds, but it's the heaviest 50 pounds I've ever felt in my life. Those cases this is a CE aisle in my warehouse, so we basically have a lot of butter, cheeses, stuff like that. But these cases, they're so heavy that like they're 40-50 pounds, but they're so solid weight that it's excruciating. But yeah, as you can see, man, I'm just flowing. I'm literally just flowing. Just going from one case to the next. And what you want to remember is whenever you have an order, you kind of want to remember that customer. You want to kind of grab it to where you're not just picking up a random order. You want to be able to remember your batches and remember your orders. So then when you come around and do it the next time, you do it the same exact way. Because guess what? When you pick that order up again to come around, you're not going to, the case that you picked, these cases aren't going to change, guys. Like, they're going to remain the same cases throughout the night, especially throughout the night. Over time, maybe they may use a different vendor and the vendor may change the box, but not in the same night. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, on rare occasions, you may have when they do replenishments, the replenish is different from the one that you had initially. That's here and there. That's sometimes, but they're still going to be frankly, kind of the same things. But for the most part, these cases do not change, and especially overnight, they don't change in the same night that you're working. So what you want to do is you want to spend time learning the cases. By the time I started this batch, I already knew what it was. I didn't even need to read the label. Let me backtrack one time. The label, well, Cisco's labels, they just describe the company's name. So I already knew by printing out the first label that I had a customer on there that I know already. So once I already know, I start building that palette how I always build this specific customer's palettes. So once I get that first label and I see, oh, these chickens are going to Duffy's, okay, my mind is already set. I'm building this palette as a Duffy's palette. Once I see Twin Peaks, once I see a Jimmy John's, Jersey Mike's label come out, I start building that palette in accordance to these cases that I know I'm gonna get for these customers. That's basically it. Learning the customers, learning the orders makes this job 100 million times better. I would put learning the orders up where like stacking is, because stacking is, I think in my eyes, stacking is the fundamental thing that makes or breaks a selector, being able to stack. Because if you go to pull off and then your 200 cases just turn over or just fall or just collapse, that is very excruciating and demoralizing in my eyes. But the video coming to an end. I just want to kind of grab you guys and just tell you a quick little tips. I do have videos up and coming where I'm just going to walk and just really try to break down each thing that I'm doing and just show you guys that selecting is not as hard as it seems. It's a hard job, but it's not as hard as they make it seem.